just keep messing up and then wanting to stop the video. But
No.
I know, I have to keep going. I'm starting now. For real. Hi friends, my name is Kate Howell. Thank you for joining me. This practice is a 75-minute gentle flow Vinyasa practice, specifically designed to ease anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. Something we can all use these days. I often say that the practice of yoga takes us outside of our traditional or pedestrian range of movement into a new and unfamiliar range. This practice for me is certainly taking me out of my traditional range of movement, as it is my very first online yoga class. So thank you for joining me. I will be very open to feedback after this practice streams. So get yourself prepared if you haven't done that already. Grab your yoga mat. A bath towel would be great, or a small blanket to use as a yoga blanket, or yoga blanket if you have one. And then I have, of course, 2 yoga blocks. Great if you have them. If you don't, you can use large books, or you can just simply skip that part of the instruction, no problem. So get yourself set up, and then we'll come to recline to begin. So take your blanket, and just kind of putting the blanket, thin layer, could be like that, could be a little bit wider, across your mat, so that your low back, as you come to lie down, has some softness, has some padding beneath it. And then you'll come to lie down, placing the blanket right in the center of your mat, recline. And so you want, as you lie down, your sacrum, which is that flat bone at the very base of your spine, to have the support, the softness of the blanket beneath it. And as you come to lie down, allow the feet to come to the floor about hips width distance apart, parallel to one another. So the feeling is that the thigh bones are neutral in the hip sockets. And then as you recline, allow your arms just to fall heavy beside you. Or if it feels more grounding, you could place your hands on your body, over the belly, to the rib cage, or one to the heart. Soften the expression of your face and feel comfortable here to close your eyes or just keep a soft focus, the ceiling overhead. This is my cat Nina, and of course she may come in and out to join us as we practice. So as you recline, feel the weight of the center of the body, the bony structure of the pelvis rooting down. And feel the groundedness of your feet. In fact, go ahead and press down into the balls of the feet, peel the toes right up off of the floor. And as you do, see if you can feel the balls of the feet grounding on the inner and outer edge. And then spreading the toes out nice and wide, release the toes and let them just gently rest down onto the mat. Pressing into the feet, pressing again down into the sacrum. Create a little bit more length through the spine. You might even kind of ease the rib cage up and away from the pelvis, but then relax and settle the rib cage down. Let the shoulder blades melt down. Let the back of the rib cage soften down. The back of the neck is long. And of course the neck is curvy, so it peels up off of the mat. But you feel the weight of the head heavy. Receive your inhalation fully here. Open the mouth and let that breath out with a sigh. Once again, inhale fully through the nostrils. Open the mouth and let that breath out with a sigh. Once again, inhale through your nostrils. Open the mouth and let the breath out with a sigh. Fully arriving here in this room, in this moment, in this body. The body is changing all the time, so your body this evening may be different than it was yesterday. or the day before. And bringing awareness to your breath here, really begin to notice the rhythm. The quality of your breath. Noticing where you feel breath move in your body. Noticing that momentum, and then after a few rounds of breath, consciously begin to deepen your breath. You can even bring your hands here to your belly, and as you draw the breath in, send the breath into your hands, looking for a feeling of expansion down low in the belly, even into the bowl shape of the pelvis, and as you exhale, let the breath go. And as you continue to breathe, feeling that rhythm of the breath, recognize that it's not just the front of the body that expands, but also the back of the body around the sacrum. You might feel sensation in the outer hips or the very base of the pelvis, the pelvic floor, maybe some sensation in the hips. As you continue to breathe, expand your awareness to include your rib cage. You could slide your hands up towards the side ribs here. And as you feel the breath expand the belly, also expand the side ribs into the hands with your inhale. And as you exhale, let the breath out. Side ribs soften in. Navel sinks towards spine. And continue to breathe with this awareness. An inhale to expand the belly, to broaden the rib cage, and an exhale to release. And find the bottom of the exhale. As you continue to breathe, expand that awareness to include the heart space. So we're talking about the front and back of the body here. As you inhale, expand the belly, the rib cage. Allow the sternum to rise into your hand and the back of the heart to press down into the mat beneath you. As you exhale, let it go, emptying. Sternum softens towards heart, rib cage settles in and down, and navel sinks towards spine. And now continue to breathe here with all of this awareness, bottom to top, sides of the body, front and back of the body. And cultivating Dirga breath here, just deep and slow. Thorough, sometimes called, or three-part yogic breathing. Feeling the fullness of each inhale as it inflates the full container of your torso. And the depth of each exhale as you let that breath out. Consider here setting some intention for your practice. Maybe some quality you would like to cultivate. Maybe some particular area of the body you would like to work on, releasing some held tension. Whatever it might be for you, knowing that what we practice gets stronger. So when we practice with intention, we can really move towards, cultivate a different quality of the mind. Go ahead and separate your feet nice and wide towards the outer edges of your mat. And as you continue to breathe, begin to windshield wiper your knees, allowing the knees to drift side to side with the rhythm of your breath. Feeling maybe a massage on the glutes or around the top rim of the pelvis. Feeling a shift in the sacrum on either side, those SI joints where the spine attaches to the pelvis. Maybe feeling some sensation in the outer hips or the inner thighs, but the next time you allow the knees to drift towards your left side, let them stay there. And then open your arms out wide to a T or a goalpost shape, bending at the elbows if you don't quite have room to spread out. And then really relax the shoulder blades down. You'll feel here that the right side of your low back will peel up off of the floor. And feel the right inner thigh rolling in and down. As you continue to breathe, really expand that space from the right hip down and away from the right armpit. You can stay just as you are, or you could take your right arm and sweep it up beside your right ear, really reaching towards that wall beyond your head. And at the same time as you're lengthening and reaching out, kind of hug your upper arm bone into the shoulder socket. So it's not that there's tension with the shoulder crowding the ear. Inhaling here. As you exhale, bring your right arm out wide to a T. Float the knees up towards the ceiling. Exhale to drift the knees to the right side and breathe here. And allowing the weight of the legs to fall heavy to that right side. Notice what you feel. Here, feeling space, the left hip down and away from the left armpit, the left inner thigh rolling in and down. Coming back to the full depth, the full momentum of your breath. Noticing how the expansion of your breath, the sense of release, may begin to shift sensation in the physical body. Maybe you can breathe into an area of tenderness or resistance. And you can stay right there, or for more sensation, take that left arm up beside the left ear and really reach up, like there's something beyond your head. But at the same time, let that upper arm bone settle down into the shoulder socket. Let the shoulder blade sink down into the mat. And continue to breathe. And once again, inhaling here, all that length and space. And as you exhale, bring the arms out wide. Inhale the knees, float up towards the ceiling. Heel toe your feet towards one another, so towards that hips width distance position. We'll gather the knees in towards the belly here, giving yourself a little squeeze. And as you hug in, maybe the sacrum lifts up to lengthen, create space, lengthen the muscles along the spine of the low back. And then release the feet to the floor. And again, take your hands to your body, one to the heart and one to the belly, and feel that rhythm, that movement of your breath. If you haven't done so already, begin to cultivate here a soft ujjayi breath or a victorious breath. And this is inhale and exhale through your nostrils, dragging breath across the base of the throat, tuning into that soft whisper sound. Really layering the sound of the breath on top of the depth of breath you've already cultivated. You can even turn the volume up on that ujjayi sound here early in practice. And now you have a visceral experience of breath in the body and the sound of ujjayi breath. Both of these aspects of the breath sort of anchors, drawing you into the moment as it's unfolding, even as the mind starts to wander and take you away from your experience of practice. You'll come right back to the sensation of breath in the body and that soft whisper sound. Inhaling here, and exhale to let the breath go. With your next inhale, bring your knees into your belly. And here, really hug in. Now energize your belly, energize your abdominal muscles. It feels like you're drawing your hip points towards one another. It might feel like you're drawing your pubic bone up towards your sternum. And allow that action to kind of peel your shoulders right up off of the floor, curling your heart towards your thighs and your nose towards your knees. Now, if you're feeling a lot of sensation and effort in the neck, just notice, are you using mostly the muscles of the neck? Can you tighten like a fist behind and beneath your navel? So it's mostly abdominal muscle effort. You can keep your hands on your shins or your thighs. You can reach for your heels, or you could reach beyond, and that's of course going to take more effort in the belly. And as you continue to reach, keep your right knee hugging in and extend your left leg long and point the toe there. Float that leg right up off of the floor as you reach out. inhale, and as you exhale, go ahead and let everything come down to the mat as a big sense of relief or release. Relaxing the shoulder blades down, lengthening the back of the neck. Left leg is long. Let's flex that left foot, press the heel away. Now as you breathe here, hugging your right knee in, drop your right sitting bone down towards the end of your mat just to keep the pelvis in a really neutral position. I'm going to bring my right knee just a little bit wide of my right hip. I'm going to peel it way out open, just a little bit. It's like a workaround so that I get around any compression of my thigh bone, pressing into my pelvic bone, and then maybe I'm allowed a little bit more flexion and a little bit of external rotation. And as you continue to breathe here, notice if the breath and the deepening of your breath shifts any sensation deep in the hip socket or in the front of the left hip or maybe the right inner thigh or the low back. I'm going to take my hand here and reach for my foot. I'm finding yogi toe lock. That's the first two fingers wrapping the big toe, making a seal with the thumb. And then flex that right foot. Press the heel up towards the ceiling, but bend the knee and drive the knee down towards the armpit. Again, guiding the right sitting bone down towards the end of the mat. If you don't quite reach the foot without curling the shoulder up, you can always take your forearm or your wrist or hand to the back of that right thigh and get the same effect here. Breathing into that tenderness, breathing into resistance. So we'll inhale here. With the exhale, we'll release. Take the left hand to the outer right thigh and drag the knee across the body. I like to go in slow motion, so I find all of the areas of tenderness or tightness. I find the intensity in sensation. I kind of hang there for a moment. And then finally release that right knee down. And for some people, maybe it'll come to the floor. Some people might just want to hover it. And some people might want to take it to a block. And remember, the block can be on any height. Opening the arms out wide. Soften the right shoulder blade down towards the floor. Or maybe it does ground. Gaze right up at the sky and breathe deeply. Right hip down and away from right armpit. Gazing either up or over the left shoulder. Continuing to breathe, you could stay or you could take that right arm up beside the right ear and create a little bit more space as the right hip moves down and away from the armpit and the right fingertips stretch and extend towards the wall beyond the head. Inhaling here and exhale to bring that right arm out wide and come back through center, hugging both knees into the belly. Again, energizing your abdominal muscles to curl in, belly to thighs, heart towards knees. You can keep your hands on your shins, reach for the heels, or reach beyond, a little more effort in the belly. Keep softening the shoulder blades down, and then extend that right leg out long, long, long. Point the toe, extending energy out. Inhale, exhale to release. Hug the left knee into the belly. And as you breathe here, we'll drop the left sitting bone down towards the end of the mat and peel the left knee just a little bit wide of the hip and continue to breathe. The right leg is long, flex through the foot, press the heel away, getting length on the front of the right hip and keeping the sacrum grounded here. Now as you're ready, take your left hand to the inside of the left thigh. You find yogi toe lock. Some people will just take the ankle, that's fine. Some people, of course, will take the hand to the back of the thigh. Wherever you land is okay. You'll flex the foot, press the heel right up towards the ceiling, and as you breathe deeply, draw the knee down towards the armpit. So you're guiding that left sitting bone down towards the end of the mat here, and breathing into sensation, feeling the expansion, sense of release. Feeling the shoulder blades ground. Once again, inhaling here. And as you exhale, you release it. Right hand to the outer left thigh. And like slow motion, peeling that left knee across the body. So you're starting to feel sensations around the outer left hip, the left side of the sacrum, that piriformis muscle wrapping around the top of the femur bone. And breathing into any discomfort. You can allow the knee to come all the way to the floor if it does, or hover or take a block underneath it. That block can be on whatever height feels appropriate. Open the arms wide. Soften the shoulder blades down. Look right up at the ceiling as you breathe, or maybe even gaze over the left shoulder, allowing you then that twist to travel through the neck. And of course you can stay, or you can bring the left arm straight up beside the ear and get a little bit more length on the left side of your body as the left hip moves down and away from the armpit. And we continue to reach and stretch up through those left fingertips, inhaling here. Exhale to open the arms out wide and then come up through center. Hugging the knees into the belly. Once again. Feeling that stretch through the back of the body as you squeeze your knees in. And then you can either roll over onto your side or rock yourself up to sit. Now as you come to sit, just perch. And you can stay oriented this way on your mat. I'm going to turn to face you. You'll just perch. I'm coming to the center of your sitting bones. The feet grounded, balls of feet and heels, feet parallel. They could be hips width, or if you need a little more room for your belly so you can feel the breath moving, you can bring them a little bit wider. But hooking the forearms there to the back of the thighs, we're going to sit up nice and tall. Lengthening up through the spine, letting the shoulder blades move into the back of your body, feeling the energy, the effort in the belly it takes to create length in the low back, really breathing into the back of the rib cage as those back ribs lift up and away from the back rim of the pelvis. And once again, we'll inhale here. Exhale, now wrap around the shins, tuck the chin in, feel the weight of the head heavy. And allow this to be a kind of a passive fold here. The weight of the head heavy. Notice the sensation through the back of your body. Might feel nice here to gently rock your head side to side. Noticing how that sensation shifts. And inhale to ripple right up to sit and arrive. Come to sit in a cross-legged seat facing the top of your mat. The sitting bones rooting and grounding down. When we come to sit towards the beginning of a practice, we want to check and see that the hip points are level with or higher than the knees. A lot of times the knees will lift up, particularly when the hamstrings are tight. So taking a blanket, folding it up, and placing that folded blanket right underneath the sitting bones. Elevate a little bit, create more space in the low back and more ease so that the thigh bones can rotate externally. Coming to sit nice and tall here, more neutral position, ribs right over pelvis, and again, connecting with your Ujjayi breath, that Ujjayi sound, not just the sound of the breath, not just physical sensation in the body, but the quality. And as you exhale, slide your hands down towards your knees, tuck your tail, and really round through the back of the body. Tucking the chin, look down towards your belly. Inhale to tilt the pelvis forward, lift and open through the chest, and allow the shoulders to roll back and down. Exhale, tuck the tail, pull the navel in, round the back of your body. Inhale, the pelvis tilts forward, heart lifts, gaze lifts, shoulders roll back. Exhale, tuck the tail, round. And now continue moving in this pattern with the rhythm of your breath and just kind of really looking for sensation. Noticing how shifting the orientation, the shape of your body, and deepening your breath can serve to move sensation. Notice when you start to move into an area that feels particularly tender, and if there's an immediate or a habitual reaction, without any judgment, without any criticism, just so we can be aware, we can start to notice what we do. And the next time you inhale, tilt the pelvis, lift and open the heart. Keep the heart lifted and start to swing your heart towards your right side, mirroring you. And then tuck your tail under and inhale to the left side and through center. And continue giant circles with the torso, sometimes called Sufi Rolls. Really working into the outer hips, the low back, maybe even the shoulders. So you probably feel it most where you feel tight. And after a few rounds, change direction. You just circle the other way. Moving with your breath rhythm. Any area of the body feels particularly tight or tender, you can feel free to lean into that spot. Maybe find stillness somewhere or shift side to side around the spot that feels particularly interesting. But after a few rounds, we'll find stillness. We'll come to sit tall, lift and open the heart, even slide the hands up towards the hip points. Squeeze the elbows in like they could touch behind you. As you exhale, keep all that length. Start to hinge and fold and walk the hands out. And you'll go to the point where you start to feel the edge of discomfort. So for some people, it might be with the arms nice and long. And some people might want to walk the hands out a little bit further. Maybe the forearms come down towards the floor to the floor. And some people might really stretch the arms out long. I might even be going out of the frame of my phone video here. But breathing into sensation. And so your sitting bones are reaching back and down into the blanket or towards the blanket. And you feel the breath moving into the back of the body. So the breath is really helping to create some space here. And continue to lengthen through the sides of your body and start to walk your hands over towards your right side. And so you're walking your hands over towards your right. You might have to come up away from your thigh a little bit so that you could roll the left side ribs in and down towards that right thigh and then stretch and lengthen. You're really focusing here on your left side. The left sitting bone peeling back towards the blanket or into the blanket. And the left arm long. Left hand maybe strikes out further than the right. Walking your hands in, maybe a handprint or two. So a little bit closer in towards your body. And now really press into your right palm. Take your left hand to your heart. And here you're going to roll your heart open towards the top of your mat. And then sweep that left arm up, reaching up so that the collarbones broaden. And there's this diagonal line from the left fingertips reaching up and out to the right palm pressing down. Energize your belly, gently pulling in, guiding those low front ribs in, and feeling all of that space across the chest as the shoulder blades press. They root into the front of the body. Your gaze can be where it's kind on your neck. Maybe that's down towards your right knee. Maybe that's up towards the ceiling. But take your left arm here and sweep that left arm beside the left ear as you root down into your left sitting bone. Feeling a lateral stretch on the whole left side of the body as the heart lifts towards the sky. Inhale to reach those left fingertips to the sky and release the left hand down. And again, walk the hands out and start to walk your hands through center, moving slowly, noticing each shift in sensation, and continuing to lengthen until your belly and your right side ribs are rolling in and down towards that left thigh. Reaching out through your right side body, so the right sitting bone is reaching down towards the blanket or into the blanket. And the right arm is extending long, maybe even stretches out beyond that left hand as you breathe into sensation. Receiving a few rounds of breath here. And then walking the hands in about halfway or a couple of handprints or so. We're going to press into that left palm, take the right hand to the heart, and peel the heart open towards the top of the mat as you peel that right elbow towards the ceiling and finally unfurl the arm and open up wide. Keeping your sitting bones grounded so your right outer thigh feels heavy as you open up. It's as though you have a wingspan. You're really extending from the collarbones out. The shoulder blades root into the back of your body. Gazing where it feels kind, could be down towards left knee, could be towards that right thigh, could be up towards the ceiling. Sweep the right arm beside the right ear. The palm spins down, so the pinky side wrapping in. As you ground into your right sitting bone, just notice what you feel as you really extend outward through the fingertips, but at the same time draw that upper arm bone down into the hip, into the shoulder socket. And as you inhale, lift up. As you, with that inhalation, release the right hand down. And again, extend the arms out, lengthening the sides of the body. We'll go ahead and walk the hands back through center, and then walk the hands in towards the body. Ripple up to sit. Roll the shoulders forward and up and back and down. Come off of your blanket, whatever you're sitting on. Bring your hands behind you. Take your feet nice and wide. Begin to windshield wiper your knees with the rhythm of your breath. Internal and then external rotation. Noticing the shifts. Noticing those like little internal clicks. Pops, moving with breath, and finally coming through center. We'll heel toe the feet to a more neutral or hips width distance position. Take the hands to the back of the thighs and lean yourself back. Energize your belly so the low ribs keep coming in. I'm going to inch the feet together so the big toes come to touch. The knees may stay hips width distance apart. And you could stay here, or you could come onto your toes. It's going to take a little bit more effort in the belly to lengthen through the low back, to bring the shoulder blades into the back of the body. You could stay, or you could float your shins up towards parallel with the floor. And as you breathe, again, notice if you feel a lot in your neck and your jaw, and remind yourself to narrow your hip points, to kind of pull your low ribs in, and to engage your pelvic floor. So it's lifting in and up from the very base of the pelvis as you create length up through the back of the neck. Inhale, exhale, finally release. We're going to sweep the feet over to the side, and you'll roll over into a hands and knees position. I'm going to come to hands and knees in this orientation. If you have blocks, you're going to keep them up towards the top of your mat. If your knees are tender as you come into your hands and knees position, you can put a blanket under your knees. But as you get yourself set up, stack your armpits right over your wrists with your fingers spread nice and wide. And stack your hips right over your knees, the tops of the feet on the floor. Extend your right leg long behind you, gently rock forward and back, stretching through the calf muscles and the arch of the foot. And then pause and find strength in the belly as the heel roots back. Start to walk your left fingertips forward, keeping that left hand contented with fingertips pressing down. And find all that length, heel back, crown of head forward, breathing here. And then go ahead and release it. Hands and knees. And as you do, point your tailbone down. Lift your navel high around the shoulders. Tuck your chin. Inhale to a long neutral spine. Again, extend the left leg long. And first just stretching through the arch of the foot, the calf muscles. And then finding stillness, armpits over wrists, heels rooting back. Extend the right arm long, walk the fingertips forward and find length there, both sides of the body. Length out through the very crown of your head. And we'll breathe into all that space. Inhale. Exhale, return hands and knees round, point the tailbone straight down. So now with the breath, inhale. Tilt the pelvis forward, tailbone lifts, belly drops, heart lifts, gaze lifts, let the shoulders roll back. Exhale to point the tail down, lift the navel round the back body and squeeze that breath out. Continue. Inhale, the pelvis tilts forward, belly drops, heart and gaze lift. Exhale, point the tail down, lift the navel round the back of your body, gazing to the thighs, and continue moving in this pattern. Moving with the rhythm of your breath. Noticing sensations shift. Watching that experience, and as you exhale, walk your hands out, one handprint, and begin to circle your hips. So first you'll shift forward as you inhale and exhale, swing the hips to the right, and back, and inhale, swing the hips to the left and through center, continue. You feel comfortable to close the eyes. There's no reason to focus on the movement that I'm doing. You might feel sensation, a really interesting sensation somewhere, and choose to lean into it a little bit, or to shift side to side around a spot that feels tender. And you're welcome to do that, but after a few rounds, change direction and begin to circle the other way. Again, you're welcome to turn the volume up on your Ujjayi breath, really bringing you a little bit deeper into your own rhythm, your own experience. And then as you come through center, we'll find a child's pose. So you can either bring the knees nice and wide, or bring the inner thighs to touch and the sitting bones to the heels. Just really let go of the weight of the body here, let go of the effort of practice, and let the forehead come down to the floor. And if the forehead doesn't rest down on the mat easily or comfortably, you can take a block underneath the forehead. Arms here will be beside the ears or beside the body, palms spinning up. And this is a good opportunity to come back to your Ujjayi breath, the rhythm, the sound. If you feel your belly is compressed on your thighs, you may have more awareness of the back of your body. Can you breathe into the back of your rib cage or the space around your sacrum? And remind yourself to come to a child's pose at any point throughout this practice, taking rest or reconnecting with breath. It's like kind of hard for you to hear me, I think, with my gaze turned down that way, so I'm going to come back up. But you'll take your time, and as you're ready, walk your hands out in front of you. Peel your way up towards a hands and knees position. Again, it's armpits over wrists, hips right over knees. So if you have blocks, I recommend taking the blocks onto the mat and taking them onto the low height. So it's just going to create a little bit of ease in a moment as we step the foot between the hands. The armpits over the wrists, the blocks give a little bit more length to the arms, a little bit more space. Extend your right leg long behind you. Energize your belly and inhale to flex the foot, float that back leg up. Exhale to bend the knee. Inhale, lift the knee up high. Exhale to swing the knee to the right and forward and then down. As you inhale, float back and up. And continue to circle this knee. We'll flex the foot and really kind of feel the churning of the thigh bone in the hip socket. And after a couple rounds, we'll go the other way and circle. And continue. Moving with that breath rhythm. The next time the right leg is extended behind you, extend the leg long, flex the foot. And now exhale to draw the knee to the belly, rounding the spine, and step the foot between the hands. And if that takes a couple steps, that's okay too. But the front knee here stacks right over the ankle. The front foot grounds down, the top of the back foot grounds down. Gently tug that right hip back a bit, left hip forward, and walk your blocks to any height. Maybe they come up to the taller height, so you can really root into the front foot, but draw your belly up and away from that right thigh. With each exhale, let the left thigh soften down and feel the whole pelvis kind of shift forward towards the top of your mat. And you can stay with your hands on your blocks, or you can take your hands to your thigh. And as you press into the thigh, lift and open through the chest, allow the shoulder blades to melt down. Steady breath, the heart lifts, even the gaze lifts up as you inhale, and exhale to release your hands to the blocks. We'll turn the blocks once again to the low height. And now press down into the blocks. We're going to take this right leg back and through, and we'll extend it long behind the body. This time we're going to spin the back foot down, so the back foot is almost kind of parallel to the back edge of your mat. Take that left hand right beneath the face and use the block underneath for support. Sweep your left foot over to the left and take your right hand to your right hip. You're going to roll that right hip back a bit so it moves to stack on top of the left. And here, really drawing your belly in, guide your tailbone to the back heel. As you're ready, sweep your right fingertips up to the sky and lift up. Again, feel that wingspan that we felt before. Gaze can be wherever feels kind on the neck, so that might be up or it might be down, maybe right out in front of you. And take that right arm long beside the right ear with the palm spinning down, pointing the tail back, energizing the belly, and feeling even more space on the right side of your body. With an inhale, float the right arm straight up. Exhale that right hand down to the block, rolling to the ball of the back foot. Release the right knee to the floor. Point the tailbone straight down, round, squeeze empty. Inhale, pelvis tilts forward. Belly drops, heart and gaze lift. Exhale, round, squeeze, breath out. And come to a neutral, long spine. And we'll do the other side. Extend the left leg long, drive the heel back. And as you're ready, float the back leg up. Bend the knee. Inhale to lift the knee high and circle. The exhale forward and down. Inhale back and lift up. You might hear little clicks, pops. And then go the other way. So notice the energy it takes in your belly to keep the integrity of this shape, the length in the spine. Notice the energy in the shoulders. Keep the arms long, the palms grounded. Extend that left leg long behind. Flex the foot. Exhale to round, knee in towards the chest. Step between the hands. So front knee over ankle. And then take your time to turn your blocks up if you'd like. The right thigh softens down. You're looking for some sensation here, front of right hip. Press into the front foot, press into top of back foot. Turn the blocks to any height that feel appropriate. And breathe. And see about taking the hip points, kind of lifting them up, peeling the belly away from that thigh. You could keep your hands low on the blocks or take the hands to the thigh. And letting the heart lift. Using the strength of the belly. There's a pressing down into your foundation, the front foot, top of back foot, and from that rooting down, feel an upward lift through the pelvic floor, the belly lifting in and up, and then finally through the heart. If balance is ever tricky, you can always step that left foot a little bit wider. Yeah, but steady breath. Inhale and exhale to lower the hands to the blocks. So as we come down, we take those blocks to the low height again. Grounding into the blocks. And then step your left foot, left leg back and all the way through. We're going to spin that back heel down, remember. So back foot's parallel to the back edge of the mat. Sweep the right foot off to the right. That's for balance. Left hand is on the left hip. And we're going to encourage the tailbone to lengthen back and down. Left hip to roll on top of right. And then finally, sweep the left arm up and feel that wingspan. So there's a real open feeling across the chest. The left arm might even peel back just a little bit. But the abdominal muscles are really engaging and pulling in. And sweep that left arm long beside the ear. Gaze where it feels kind on your neck. Feel the length on the whole left side of the body and root down into your right palm. As you inhale, lift through the lifted arm and release that left hand down and return to a hands and knees position. Point the tailbone straight down with an exhale. Inhale, the pelvis tilts forward. Belly drops, heart and gaze lift, and exhale to tuck the toes. Ease the sitting bones back towards the heels. And take your time here. I'm going to take the blocks out of the way. You might take them off one on either side of your hands. I'm going to put them here just so you can see my hands. But press down into the palms and finally lift your sitting bones high, approaching a downward facing dog. And as you arrive, begin to pedal your feet. Lengthen one leg and then the other. Moving with the rhythm of your breath. Noticing sensations shift, but finally finding a stillness. The feet are about hips width distance. We're going to bend into both knees. Lift the tailbone really high. That will help the pelvis to tilt forward. Ease the heels back and down. They might not touch the floor, no problem. And ground the palms shoulder width distance apart. Now you can keep your knees really bent here, or you can start to lengthen the legs, so long as you keep the back nice and long. So softening the knees can really help to keep the low back long rather than rounded. So you're welcome to keep the knees bent the whole practice, or for the beginning of practice at least, as you get warmed up. Rooting the palms, wrap the inner elbow creases towards the ceiling and gaze back towards knees or thighs and reconnect with breath. Now as you inhale, ripple yourself forward, using the whole breath to arrive in a high plank, high push-up position, heels root back, crown of head forward. Exhale, energize your belly, lift your tailbone, And find your downward facing dog once again. Once again, inhale, ripple forward. Use the whole breath to arrive. Heels back, crown of head forward, shoulders stack, wrists. Exhale, hips high. Downward facing dog. One more time, we'll do that. Inhale, ripple forward to that high plank. Armpits over wrists, heels root back. Now, I'll invite you to stay here a breath or so. You can do it with the knees lifted or lowered, your choice. We're really going to fire up the belly either way. Knees lifted or lowered. Low ribs come in, hips, ribs, shoulders in line. Inhale, and as you exhale, lower the knees to the floor. Lift the tailbone really high. Lift the heart, and as you inhale, bring your shoulders over the wrists, like peering off the edge of a cliff. With the exhale, you'll bend the elbows, squeeze them in as you reach your chin out and down. Heart between hands, Ashta Pranam. Tailbone lifts high, elbows hug in. Next inhale, ripple forward onto your belly and pubic bone. Lift and open the chest, elbows squeeze in, tops of the feet. Root down, baby cobra. As you exhale, very gently ripple down. Be mindful of your nose. And we'll do that again. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Lift the heart, lift the head. Exhale, ripple down. Be mindful of your nose. Inhale, ripple up, shoulders roll back, and we'll stay, baby cobra. No weight on the hands, taps of feet root down, inner thighs roll in and up. And lifting the heart a little higher, slide your forearms to the mat. Bringing the shoulders right over the elbows here. Spreading the fingers wide, lifting through the chest, broad across the collarbones. Neck is nice and long. Inhale. Exhale to ripple down very gently. Slide your hands beside the rib cage, tuck the toes. Sitting bones towards the heels. Sitting bones towards the sky. Downward facing dog. Receive your breath fully and let it go completely. Soften the knees. Start to walk your feet towards your hands. So you end up folding forward at the top of the mat with the head heavy, arms heavy, maybe even a sway here side to side. And then come right through center. As you're ready, ground the heels, bend the knees, and inhale to ripple your way right up to stand. Rolling the shoulders forward and up, exhaling back and release down. Come to stand at the top of your mat in mountain pose, Tadasana. Rooting down through your feet, guiding the tailbone straight down. Feeling the balls of the feet and the heels root, that groundedness. And that groundedness creates kind of an upward moving momentum as the arches of the feet lift up. Kind of lift in the pelvic floor, abdominal muscles engage and lift up. All that length through the spine. Arms beside you. The palms can spin forward to create a little bit more space across the chest. Fill the full container of your body with breath. As you inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Let the right hand catch the left wrist. Left palm to sky. Lift up as you inhale. Exhale, lean towards your right side, tucking the chin. Look down to the floor in front of your left foot and keep lengthening. Left armpit away from hip as you lean towards your right. Root your tailbone straight down. With your inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, sweep the arms out and down as you hinge to fold. Take your hands to the shins. Peel halfway up. Exhale, fold deep. Inhale, sweep the arms out and rise all the way up with an inhale, palms press, gaze lifts. Exhale, hands to heart center, release your arms. Inhale, sweep the arms out, rise all the way up. Left hand catches right wrist, right palm to sky. Lift up as you inhale, tail roots down. Exhale, lean towards your left side. And keep rooting your tailbone down, grounding your feet, especially on that right side, gazing down to the floor in front of your right foot. And as you inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, sweep the arms out. Lengthen all the way, releasing hands and head. Uttanasana, hands to shins. Come halfway up with an inhale. Exhale, fold deep. Sweep the arms out. Lengthen as you rise all the way up. Palms press, gaze lifts. Exhale, gather the hands to the heart. Release the arms. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Rise all the way up, palms press. Exhale, dive forward. Hands come right down through the center line. This time, release head and hands. Inhale, hands to shins, coming halfway up. Exhale, soften the knees. Grounding your palms or taking your blocks under your hands, step your left foot back into a lunge. And so you want your front knee to stack right over your ankle here. Root your back heel back. The blocks can be on any height. Lift and open through the chest as you inhale. Exhale, lengthen your front leg. Guide your right hip point back. Inhale, bend the knee, sink the hips, lift, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen the front leg. Peel the right hip point up and back. Inhale, bend the knee, sink the hips, lift, open the chest. Exhale to lengthen that front leg and guiding that right hip back, extend through the very crown of your head. So feel the inner thighs wrap in as the back heel roots back. Breathing into sensation here in long spine, length through the back of your neck. As you inhale, rebend your front knee, lift and open through the chest. We're going to lower the back knee gently to the mat and either climb your hands up to the front thigh or sweep your arms forward and lift up. Palms spin in, shoulders slide down. Lift as you inhale. Exhale, lower your hands down. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up as you inhale. Step the back foot forward. Fold in half. Inhale, hands to shins. Come just halfway up. Exhale, soften the knees. Weight in the left foot. Step the right leg back. Finding your lunge here. Blocks could be on any height. Back heel rooting back. Front shin reaching forward. Inhale, exhale, lengthen the front leg long. Guide the left hip point back. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, lift, open the chest. Exhale, lengthen the front leg long. Inhale, bend the knee, sink the hips, lift, open through the chest. And exhale to lengthen that front leg. We're going to guide the left hip back. Extend through the crown of the head, wrap the inner thighs in and back, and find length through your spine. Steady with your breath. Maybe you hinge to about a tabletop, parallel with the floor. Maybe you do hinge further to get more sensation. And keep your breath moving either way, breathing into the tender spots. And then inhale, rebend your front knee. You'll open through the chest. As you exhale, step the back foot forward and fold at the top of your mat. Inhale the hands to the shins. Exhale, fold deeply, Uttanasana. Move those blocks out of the way, one on either side. Sweep the arms out and up as you inhale. Press your palms, lift your gaze, and exhale to gather your hands to your heart. Release your arms. With an inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep the arms up. Chair pose, Utkatasana, grounding the feet, weight into the heels, lift to open the chest. As you inhale, lengthen your legs, press your palms, fold, empty all the way, Uttanasana, releasing the head. Inhale, hands to shins. Come just halfway up, and exhale to soften your knees and ground your palms. You're going to step back one foot, then the other into a high plank and pause, the heels pressing back. So energy in the belly. Again, you can lower your knees or keep them lifted, but energy in the belly to extend, heels back, crown forward. And now you can always practice that knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. Again, you could come all the way down to the belly or skip the Vinyasa sequence, or you could practice Chaturanga Dandasana with or without the knees. So I'll lower my knees, shoulders shift forward of the wrists, and exhale, bend the elbows. They squeeze in as the heart lowers to elbow height, tops of the feet root down. Inhale, lengthen the arms, lift the kneecaps, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the chin, lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. With an inhale, bring your right leg up and back. Exhale, round the knee to the belly. Take the foot between the hands. Might not come all the way through. So wherever it lands, move that block out of the way so you can see. And then you'll spin your back heel down. The back foot, the right foot is a little bit to the right of center. Back heel is a little bit left of center. And now rise up to a warrior one. So you can keep your hands on your thigh if you prefer. Or sweep the arms beside your ears with palms spinning up. So palms spin in. Ground into that front foot. Outer heel of the back foot roots down. And lift through the chest. It's an inhale to lift up. Exhale, right hand takes left wrist, left palm to sky. Lift up as you inhale. Exhale towards your right side, lifting up as you inhale once again, and exhale, the hands come right down to heart center. So open up wide now into a warrior two, front heel, lining to heel, or arch of back foot. Front knee bends, tailbone roots down, the spine lengthens on both sides. Length through the crown of the head and a gaze over that front hand. And we'll spread out with this inhale. Exhale, lengthen the front leg, sweep the arms up. Inhale, spread out. Exhale, sweep up. Inhale, spread out. Exhale, sweep up. And now stay, root your tailbone, wrap your inner thighs in, open arms wide. And guide the tail to the back heel. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, right hand down to shin. Left arm sweeps to the sky. Again, we're going to feel a wingspan, right? From the collarbones extending outward, and then energy tailbone to crown of head. And you feel all that space across your chest. You might even take the left arm long beside the ear. And as you're ready, rise up. Then inhale, arms wide. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Step back. It could be a vinyasa sequence, or you could step right into a downward facing dog and breathe in that stillness. Inhale the left leg long. Exhale, step between the hands. Back heel spins down. Rise, warrior one. Lift up. Rooting into your feet to rise. Left hand takes right wrist, right palm to sky. Lift up as you inhale. Exhale over to your left side. Keeping your belly strong. Right armpit away from hip. And then finally inhale, rise up. Exhale, palm presses. Palm, hands to heart. Spin open to your right side. Open up warrior two. Now front heel to back heel or back arch. Pressing into the feet. Lengthening through the crown. Gazing over that front hand. And feeling the ribs, they stack right over the pelvis. So really spread out with an inhale. Press the feet. Exhale, lengthen the front leg. Sweep the arms up. Inhale, bend the knee. Sink the hips. Sweep the arms out. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, open up. Exhale, lengthen. And then rising, stay here. Point the tailbone down. Length through both sides so the torso, upper arm bones plug into the shoulder sockets. Inner thighs wrap in, arms out wide with an inhale. Reach over the front leg. Exhale, left hand down. Right fingertips to sky. Point the tail to the back heel. Roll the heart up. Open across the chest. It's almost like you're leaning back, like being dipped in a dance here. So you have an elegant feeling. And take that right arm long beside the right ear. So really feeling a lot of sensation here. Right outer hip, right side body. Pressing into the feet, lead with the lifted arm. Rise up with an inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, cartwheel the hands down, step back. Your choice. Could go down dog, could flow through that vinyasa sequence and land in your downward facing dog. Softening the knees, walk your hands back towards your feet there. And fold forward. The head's heavy, arms heavy, bend the knees, ground the heels, ripple up to stand. So you're standing there towards the back of the mat, roll the shoulders. Take the hands right to the hips. Inhale, inhale, elbows hug in, lift your chest. Exhale, hinge. Folding forward, soften the knees. And take a yogi toe lock. First two fingers hook the big toes, lengthen the arms, reach to the crown. Exhale, bend the elbows, hinge and fold deeply. Daring some weight forward on your toes, lifting the sitting bones high. Inner thighs wrap in. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale to bend the knees, step off or release your toe lock, ground the heels. And ripple up to stand, roll your shoulders forward. Lift up. Exhale back. Release down. Hands to hips, shift weight into your left foot with the knees soft. Lift your right knee up towards the height of that right hip. You'll take your right hand down to the inside of your thigh, of your ankle or foot. Take yogi toe lock, first two fingers, hook the big toe. Flex the foot really firmly and guide the tail straight down as you grow tall, and start to peel that right knee open to the right. Steady breath, a steady gaze, a strong belly. Maybe that left arm comes out wide to a T. Exhale, come through center, release your toe lock. Ground the feet, hands to hips, lift your heart as you inhale. Exhale, hinge to fold deep, hands to shins, rise halfway. Exhale, fold deeply. Again, take yogi toe lock. If you feel like you want more sensation, you can step your feet on top of your hands, toes to the creases of your wrists. Lengthening the arms with your inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, hinge and fold more deeply. Inner thighs really wrap in, but the tailbone and the sitting bones lift. Even if the knees are soft here, there's still a pressing down with the feet, a lifting up with the sitting bones. It gets that sensation to the back of the legs, and really let your head just be heavy. So try not to hold the weight of the head. You might even shake your head, yes or no. Shoulders move away from the ears. With an inhale, lengthen the arms to lift the heart. Exhale, bend the knees, step off your hands or release toe lock. Ground your heels. Inhale, ripple up to stand. Roll your shoulders and arrive. Hands to hips, soft knees, shift weight to the right foot. Lift the left knee up towards the height of the hip. And then reach down that left hand, take yogi toe lock or inner edge of ankle or foot, flex the foot, heel pressed away. Steady breath and a steady focal point. And keep the hip points level if you can. Keep the belly strong, lift up. With that left foot really flex, really pressing into the left hand. So peel your left knee open to the left. Keep the heart open. Keep the breath moving. You can stay or reach that right arm out. And inhale. Exhale, come back in. Release the foot. Hands to hips, inhale, lift the heart, exhale, hinge and fold and soften the knees. Walk the hands like one handprint at a time to your downward facing dog, letting it feel good in the body. And finally, rippling forward into that high plank, lower all the way down to the belly. Tops of the feet to the floor, arms long beside you, rooting pubic bone, hip points, inner thighs rolling in and up. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and back. Lift the heart and head. Exhale here. Inhale, reach through the toes. Float your legs up. Inner thighs lead. Exhale here. And inhale once again. Reach your arms up. You could even take your hands, clasp them behind you. Reach your knuckles back. Peel your arms away from the back of your body. Keep the back of the neck nice and long for Locust Pose. Shavasana. Inhale. Exhale, lower it down. All the way. Come to rest on the cheek. Bending the knees, windshield wiper your feet, side to side. Go and extend the legs long. Bring the hands beside the rib cage. Press into the hands to carefully ease your way back to hands and knees, and then sweep your feet out of the way. You'll come to sit facing the top of your mat. Extend the legs out long. Okay. And come to sit up nice and tall. So you feel the low back kind of rounding. You might like to use a blanket, once again, underneath your sitting bones to get the ribs right over your hips. Shoulders over hip points. Flex your feet, sit up tall. Go ahead and bend your left knee. Left foot comes in. The left foot grounded on the floor. So place it might be a little bit wide of the left hip point, sitting bone. Take your left side ribs to the inner left thigh. And then flexing that right foot, really root your sitting bones. Bring your left arm up, see if you can get a little length on that side. Bring the left arm to the inner thigh. Press into that inner thigh as you open your heart to the right. Right hand comes behind you. Grow tall through the crown of your head. Roll the heart open to the right. Maybe even turn your gaze back over the wall behind you, towards the wall behind you. Both shoulders soften. Inhale. Exhale to unravel it. And let this left knee drift open. Sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. Narrowing hip points to the top of the mat. Sit tall with an inhale. Again, find that rotation over towards your right side you just found. And then hinge as you rotate. Walk your hands out. Each inhale, a little bit more length in the sides of your body. Each exhale, a little bit more energy in the belly to get the hip points rolling forward to tilt. And then finally just releasing into where you land. Hands can come to the right leg or they can be beside. You can use a strap around the ball of the foot if you prefer, but breathe into sensation. And it's almost like that right hip is coming back a little bit, reaching towards the wall behind you as the right heel lengthens, reaches away. Inhale here. Exhale to let it go. Passive fold, head heavy, arms heavy. And with an inhale, ripple up to sit. Roll the shoulders back, float that left knee up, left leg long, bend your right knee. You're going to bring the right foot to the floor so that it really grounds. Both sitting bones ground. And then reach up through the right arm, right side of the body lengthening, but keep the sitting bones rooted. Bring your right arm to the inner thigh and twist to your left. And now the left hand comes behind the left hip. I'm going to try and keep the sitting bones grounded. So the pelvis is neutral position. Roll the heart open towards that left side. Maybe even gaze back over the back shoulder towards the wall behind you. And breathing there, opening across the chest. Flexing that left foot. Inhale here. Exhale to unravel all of that. Let the right knee drift wide. Sole of the foot to inner left thigh. Narrowing the knee so that the pelvis is oriented forward. Flex the left foot. Sit tall as you inhale. Exhale, twist to your left. And then hinge and fold. And keep lengthening. Heart away from hips. Left hip comes back and notice what you feel. And stay steady with your breath, breathing into sensation, breathing beyond sensation. And as you inhale, lengthen, and exhale, just kind of round, empty out here, head heavy, arms heavy. And with your inhale, ripple right up to sit. Float the right knee to the sky. Extend the right leg long, flex both feet. Sit tall as you inhale, exhale, hinge, and fold. Reaching heart away from hips. Lengthening through the spine, hands land where they land, maybe the shins, ankles, the feet. And breathing there, length through the sides of the body. And as you exhale, just go ahead and round and empty. And the head heavy. Arms heavy. And with an inhale, ripple right up to sit. And roll the shoulders. And we'll get set up for kind of a restorative Shavasana. So if you have a kitchen chair or a folding chair, maybe a couch, the couch, or an ottoman of some kind, you want to bring that near you. If you don't, you can come into a traditional Shavasana lying down, no problem. But again, you want to create maybe a little softness, a little layer of blanket underneath where your sacrum will land. And then go ahead and grab your chair. So I'm going to grab my chair. Your chair, ottoman, whatever it might be. And now, you're home, so you could be here as long as you want, but I'll wrap up pretty shortly. So if you have lots of time here, you have a little bit more time for a longer Shavasana, you might come into this shape. one leg at a time. This can be really nice to just elevate just the left leg, for example. And the chair should be about the right height so that it kind of supports right at the knee crease. And if it's too high, then it'll be a little bit uncomfortable. You should find another chair. But if it's too low, you could always put a layer of blanket or an extra pillow on top. And just breathe here. So in this shape, you would really try and just relax, maybe breathe for 5 to 10 minutes here, so that the left side of your sacrum could settle down and release evenly, right and left side. And as you breathe here, you want to cultivate that full, deep Dirga breath, Ujjayi sound, ocean sound on top, so that the breath is doing some of the work, kind of carving out space within the body. And also the breath is allowing us to move into those tender places and really shift energy, or maybe get some energy moving in an area that's closing off or clenching up. So you would do the left side for however long, 5 minutes, maybe longer if it feels good. And then you would do the right. Right, same thing. Feel the imbalance. See if you can let it settle on that right side. I think my chair is a little bit high, to be honest. Feels like it's lifting me up a little bit. But you'll breathe there. Let your body release, settle into it. And then balance it out. So right side the same as the left. And now for our Shavasana, we'll come in with both legs elevated. And make yourself cozy here. If you have an eye pillow, you can place an eye pillow over your eyes. You could put a blanket over you for warmth, or even a little bit of a blanket under the back of the head so that your rib cage could soften down. Whatever it might be, come to rest. Full weight of the body, releasing, grounding into the support that's beneath you. You stay there. I'm going to get up so that you can hear me a little bit more clearly. So in your Shavasana shape, inhale through your nostrils. Open the mouth. Let the breath all the way out with a sigh. Let the weight of the body go. Let go of effort. Finally, letting go even the effort of Ujjayi breath, allowing the breath just to be what it is. Feeling the breath move into all the open spaces you created through practice. Maybe feeling a kind of vibration quality in the body. The effort of Shavasana is to be present to the moments of stillness, to be present in the silence, to finally let go of doing and to just experience the being. So enjoying some stillness, some silence here. Receive your inhalation fully. Open the mouth, let the breath out with a sigh. Continue to deepen your breath. reconnecting with the fullness and the depth. Allowing your awareness of your breath to draw you back into your physical body. Again, connecting with visceral experience of breath and real sensation in the body, so the feeling of the clothes, the temperature in the room, the texture of your mat. Inviting movement, wiggling the fingers, the toes, maybe rocking the head a bit, side to side. If your legs are elevated, if you're using the chair, bring your knees into your belly. And take your time rolling over onto your right side and just lie there on your right side. Just a few breaths. You can even bring your arm up beside your right ear to be still, to create a pillow. And taking your time to transition, being very kind, very gentle to yourself. And finally, as you're ready, pressing down through your palms to peel your way up to sit. And just sit with the eyes closed, awareness turned inward. Fully arriving in this experience of yourself. And sometimes the yoga practice can kind of strip away the boundary of ourselves, the kind of ideas that we have about ourselves that keep us separate from one another. But at the end of practice, sometimes the stripping away little by little, all of the things that we are not. We have sometimes a feeling of expansion, or a feeling of greater connectedness to others. That's often true when we practice together in the studio. But this will be a great experiment to see whether it's true when we're practicing alone, but together among friends. Aldous Huxley said that each living solitude is dependent upon other living solitudes, and more completely still, upon the ocean of being from which it lifts its little reef of individuality. Just so much like yoga. That we each are a wave rising out of the ocean of consciousness. Is sometimes described as a droplet. And we think that we're all there is, but soon enough we melt back into the ocean of consciousness and we realize we're no different from one another. We were no different all along. So maybe sending an intention of well-being, of goodness, out through the ether to your fellow yogis, practicing at home, but alongside you, supporting you. Sending a little, or taking a moment to receive that goodness has been sent to you too. And with gratitude, we'll join our voices with the sound of Om together, one time. Hands can come to the heart, palm to palm, however you like. Inhale. Lifting the heart, lifting the gaze as a gesture, inviting goodness, inviting light, and as you exhale, fold, sealing your practice. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Please send me your feedback. Have a wonderful day.